Okay, welcome back to session again. I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, so we are talking about the markings on the cylinders. Okay, then the marking on the, oh, sorry. Yeah. So the marking on the permanent and also liquefied gas cylinders shall be in accordance with the provisions of these rules. 6.2, what it is talking about. 6.2. Marking on the nature of heat treatment given to the cylinder during the manufacture or after the repairs. What kind of heat treatment the cylinder has gone through, and also the date of the last hydrostatic test or hydrostatic stress test which has conducted, and with the code of the marking of a recognized testing station. The testing station mark also has to be placed on. Also, working pressure and test pressure. As I mentioned, working pressure is different and test pressure is different. Test pressure is almost always 1.5 times of the working pressure. And tier weight, which means the empty weight of the cylinder. Okay. So every gas holder or acting approval granted rules, procedure, or authorization deemed to the capacity. This is 61, 62.1, and 63, 62.1. Production of license or approval on demand. So every person holding or acting under a license or approval granted under these rules, license or approval granted under these rules shall produce it or an authenticated copy of it at the place to which the license or approval applies. When called upon to do so, any of the officer or specified under rule number 1, the copies of license or approval may be for the purpose of this rule be authenticated by the authority which granted the license or approval. Okay. So whenever it is required an authentication copy, it has to be at the place at which the license or approval applies. Okay, anything? Screen is not showing. Is it visible now? Okay, I don't know why it has got. Okay, I've shared again. So every person holding or acting under a licensee or a approval granted under these rules shall produce it for authentication on demand of the concerned authority. It is nothing but whoever the license holder. So whenever any authority ask for it, so it should be readily available. Okay, they have to show. A gas cylinder and a cryogenic containers must be marked permanently with a tamper proof barcode at a conspicuous place. 62 6.2c. 6.2 6.2 a b. I think c, it is not there. It will change. It is an older one. Okay, so here you should have a barcode for the any cryogenic containers. And any person manufacturing, importing, exporting, filling, or positioning gas cylinder must, upon written notice by the inspecting authority, submit a barcode details considered necessary for safety within a reasonable time, not exceeding 48 hours of the receipt. Okay. So this already we have seen yesterday. So whoever is importing any specific gas cylinders, so they have to inform to the port authority before the 48 hours of the material or the cylinders reaches to the port area. An auto LPG, LNG, or CNG, hydrogen, or CNG gas to be filled into auto or motor vehicle cylinders that are approved by the chief controller have passed a periodic testing by the recognized testing station. It is in a 6.4. I think it is not there. It seems older version of it. Okay. Then before filling any LPG or CNG or CBG hydrogen or must be scanned. If the barcode is not readable or missing, the cylinder must be not to be filled. Okay. And all the fee payable under these rules shall be paid through a cross demand draft drawn on the nationalized or scheduled bank in favor of chief control of explosives, payable at respective places or by online payment where such facility is provided. Here you have to pay the demand draft. Okay. Then the notice of the accident required to be given to the chief controller or control under this jurisdiction of the area falls into the district authority concerned to the officer in charge of the nearest police station or quickest mode of communication. Okay. So information about the accident. So whenever any accident happens, 67. Information about the accidents. Notice of accident. So what we have to do in the case of any accident happen, a notice of accident required to be given under the subsection 1 of section 8 of the act shall be given forthwith to the chief controller or controller under whose jurisdiction the area falls by a fax or email forwarded by the letter giving particulars of occurrence within 12 hours. So once the accident happened, from the time of accident within 12 hours, you have to inform. Okay. And to whom? To the district authority also concerned, and also to the officer in charge of the nearest police station by the quickest mode of communication. Police station, you can get the quickest mode of communication, how you can able to inform them. Okay. These are the district authority and also the police station and also the control of explosives. These are the people we have to inform. Then inquiry into the accidents. So here a district magistrate or a commissioner of police or a magistrate subordinate to the district magistrate holds an inquiry under the subsection 1 of the section 9 of the act, and he shall adjourn such an inquiry unless a chief controller officer nominated by him in present to watch the proceedings or the magistrate has received a written information from the chief controller. So the chief controller can allot these people for inquiring into the accident. Then inquiry into the more serious accidents. So wherever an inquiry is held under section 9A of the Act, the person holds such inquiry shall hold the same in open court in such manner, also under such conditions as they may think most effectual or ascertaining or cases of circumstances of the accident, and also enabling them to make a report under these rules. Okay. And all the expenses incurred about this inquiry or investigation of sub rule 2 under rule number 69 shall be deemed to be a part of expenses of petroleum explosive and safety organization in executing the provision of this act. So for the whatever the expenses which comes in, they will see under PESO, petroleum and explosive safety organization. Okay. And manufacturer shall clearly or durably mark the valve fittings to the cylinder in accordance with the provisions by stamping, engraving, or similar processes as prescribed in the rule number 7. Markings on the valves. If you see the cylinder valves, you will see the few markings on the cylinders like the serial number, etc. See the 7, what it is exactly. So this is the color code marking on the valve. The specification of the valve, exactly what it is for, and year and month or quarter of manufacture. When the specific valve is manufactured, year and month or a quarter, which quarter? So we'll have financial year, quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3. The manufacturer symbol, and also working pressure, and name and or a chemical symbol of the gas for which the valve is to be used, for which gas the valve supposed to be used, and also the type of screw thread and also the outlet in the case of left hand LS. Most of the gas cylinders, you will basically, when you do a clockwise, you will do a tightening of the valves. When you do anti-clock, you will open the any basic studs. So for the, especially for this valves, you will have an LH. While do a, anti-clockwise, so it will become tightened. Then inspector's stamp. These are the various details which is to be marked on the valve. Then you have identification color. So as we see in pipeline color coding IS 2379, same way you have color coding for the gas cylinders also. So here every person filling any cylinder with any compressed gas shall be, before it is stored or dispatched, shall ensure that the cylinder is painted with appropriate identification color specified in the IS 4379 for industrial cylinders, and also IS 15683 and 2878 for the fire extinguishers, and IS 3933 for the medical cylinders. So these are the different applications at the different locations. So accordingly, it has to be painted. So here we have a non-flammable and toxic. So the color, it is white, the shell white, and also the neck bands. So we'll have a band in the sense over the near the neck, you will have a different color. How like pipeline, you will be there also we have the color bands. So for example, you take the water it is completely green. So in between the greens, you will have a band, different kinds of bands we apply, so that we can able to distinguish from different types of water, like drinking water, raw water, or STP water, okay, etc. And non-flammable also white with a shade of yellow. There you have IS5. The shade number is 356. These are the codes of the shade, the color shade. Flammable but non-toxic, including other than LPG. White with a red color. Flammable and toxic, white with red and yellow. And gas mixture, a minor gas color with a width of approximately 1/5 of the cylinder. Fire extinguishers, as we know, it is a red color. Okay, this is the color coding of gas cylinders. Okay. Then it shall be ensured that the cylinder is painted or appropriate identification color specified under the IS 4379 of the industrial. Okay, gas cylinders or medical, this we have covered. The cylinders used for new gases or gas which identification color not provided shall be painted with the color as prescribed in the rules. If it is not done, it can be painted. Okay, as per the rule number 2, which we have discussed. Okay. With this, we done with this topic. I'll just take a quick recap. So when the question comes with about the gas cylinders rules, you can talk about the various licenses which we have, license E, F, and G, where you can refer the schedule. So which license is for what? I mean schedule 4. And also you can talk about until unless there is no license, we are not supposed to import or export any gas cylinders. We are not supposed to fill any cylinders, or we are not supposed to position any cylinder. And also you have the purity with respect to the quality of the gas, and also electrical components which has to be ISO or a flame proof electrical fittings. And also the storage precautions has to meet the requirement. You can talk about the storage precautions. It should not be affected with the direct sunlight. It should not be stored under the dry or wet places where it can lead to corrosion, or it has to be stored in a well ventilated with a shady place, etc. You can write. Okay, I'll give this presentation so you can take out the points, and you can prepare your own answer, 15 to 20 points, so that you can able to remember at least 10 in the examination to see it in the practical case. Okay. Fine.
Sir, is there any rule to identify these sections, like thumb rules, like anything to remember this?
It comes only practice, if you ask me. So the more you refer, the more you read, you can able to remember those specific rules and sections. So what I do is just give me a minute. I'll show you one sample paper so that you people will have a better clarity how the questions are asked. I already showed you before, if I'm not wrong. I'll show once again so that. So here, as I mentioned, except a Factories Act, no other legal requirement. They will ask you to write about the sections actually. In the Factories Act only, they will ask you to write the sections with respect to chapter 4 or chapter 3. Otherwise, no other questions which you get to write about any questions or section references. Yes, here it is. I'm sharing my screen. So if you see here, I'm just referring only the larger answers. So as of now, what are the topics we covered? We covered SA 8000, correct? Social accountability standards, SA 8000. So what is meant by SA 8000? What are the benefits? So here you can write about SA 8000 means what, why it is for, what is the main agenda, and what are the benefits it is there. So there you have 9 requirements, okay, or 9 principles, not requirements. Sorry, that is my mistake. 9 principles. You can write all those principles. So these are the benefits. Directly you can't write. You have to change your answer. So okay, with the SA 8000, all the employees can able to benefit the better salaries. There is no child labor. There will have a priority for the workers who can intimate about the specific hazards in that. Okay, so like that you can frame your answer. And also we covered the Factories Act. What are the objectives of the Factories Act? What is the main intention of the Factories Act? It is also a general answer. So if you have overall idea, that is what I'm taking time and going through the complete the PDFs, so that at least you remember 5 to 6 points, so that you can able to attempt. Okay. Then it is talking about this topic also we covered. Explain about chemical accident rules, which we have discussed. So what is the chemical accident rules? It talks about basically preparedness and also ready and response to the emergency situations. Here they are simply talking about explain about emergency accident, chemical accident rules. What do you write? You write what is meant by chemical accident. You write what is meant by MAH installation. You write about what are the various uh, the crisis groups which are there. You write about the roles of the crisis groups, how they act, etc. Okay. Hope now you have an idea what exactly the question will come. We'll see one more paper. So again, here also you have ILO, which we are, yet to discuss. So here you have Factories Act. What are the case laws under the Factories Act? Explain periods. You mentioned some of the case laws or some of the rules, and also what about ESIC Act and rules, and public liability insurance, construction, other workers rules. Okay, this is BOCW. Then static mobile pressure vessels we are yet to discuss. Environmental Protection Act. This is a repeated question from the previous paper. Then hazardous material transport rules, which is nothing but hazardous waste management rules. So nowhere you will ask to write any specific sections. Here we may see what are the different types of noises defined under the noise pollution and social accountability. Again, it is a repeated question. Briefly describe various sections of the Factories Act. See, here they have asked the what are the various sections in the Factories Act. So here you have to write the any specific sections. And the chemical accident rules, again it is a repetition. Then Environmental Protection Act, again it is a repetition. SA 8000, it is a repetition. Okay, this is how the questions are asked. Only Factories Act you will get to write the sections. Otherwise, rest of them are you have to write your understanding or the requirements of the specific legislation. That's all. Okay. Is it clear everybody about the question paper pattern? Any
For
questions?
for 10 mark, for 10 marks question, 10 to 15 lines is enough to the for answer
Sorry.
to
Sir, I mean,
sir,
how
for
far
10
we can
marks
write
question,
the
10 to 15 lines is enough, sir.
I can't exactly tell you 10 to 15 lines whether you are writing question to the answer. If you are writing question to the answer, minimum I can say minimum 15 points so that you will get a better score. But I'm not telling you it is enough.
Important point.
15 points. 15 points more than enough. You will get a better score.
Sir, can you able to tell like I mean how much better to write the examinations in the point wise like theory wise like that?
I always Kusuma, can you please mute yourself? One second. So when you talk about the theoretical, so you write different types of noises. Okay. Here you have to mention the point wise. Again, explain 10 important definitions in the SMPP rules. Here you write the definitions. It is a theoretical and also you can write as a bullet also. Explain ILO convection recommendations. Mostly it will be always better to have a bullet points instead of writing a stories. If it is a definition, you have to write a story. If it is asking for any specific things, you have to mention the bullet points itself. That is easy for the evaluator also to assess your answers. For example, social accountability. So you write about what is mean by SA 8000. Then you write about what are the various principles. Principle as a heading. Under the principle, you can write 1-2 points or 2-3 points under the each principle. So that is more than enough. Then explain the chemical accident rules. You write chemical accident as a definition. Under that, what are the various provisions are there? You can say there are four crisis groups are there. One is central crisis group. Under the central crisis group, you write 3-4 points. Then you say state crisis group. You can write 3-4 points, and then district, and then local crisis groups. Then 4 points. Always better to go with bullet points so that it will be easy for the evaluator. The thing is, when you go for bullet points, if you are having a strong answer with you, when you are not having a strong answer, as you know, that is general thing. I need not to tell, because already you people have gone through a couple of examinations. You will go with the theory. First 3-4 lines, you have the exact answer. In between, you will have the general answer you can write, and also end up with the exact answer. So that is the other story, which I am not supposed to tell. Okay, we are all our adults.
Okay,
We
sir.
have gone through a
Understood.
couple of
Understood.
examinations, correct? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But when you have confidence on your answer, so definitely you go with bullet points so that you will get a good score. So the thing is,
Right, sir.
it should be easily readable and understandable, and also question to the answer. Okay, sometimes what will happen, the examiner may the evaluator may come up with the standard answers, or sometimes if he is having knowledge, he won't refer that answer. He will just correct the answers based on his knowledge. It is I mean, not able to expect what kind of people will review. So it is always better to give question to the answer instead of writing any stories. If you're not having any answer, that is a different case. To fill up the papers, to at least clear the examination, there you can fill the papers. Okay, fine. So again, we'll start then a boiler act. Okay, I'll share again. So that is how the questions are asked. So you have to be aware on, you just make your own answer by taking these PDFs, which I have highlighted. One each topic, factors act, you can make 10 to 20 points. You make it maximum points, so that in the examination it is very difficult to remember. If you read 30 points, hardly you will remember 10 points. So better make your answer longer with the bullet points or with your keywords, so that with the keyword you can able to start. Some people will have a starting problem in the examination. Once they start, they can able to recall the whole concept. So you should have some keywords around your answer, so that it will be easy while writing the examination. Make your answer large so that you can able to remember the maximum number of points while attempting in the examination. If you are making your answer itself 10 points, out of 10 you will remember only 5. So out of 5 you can able to write only 2. So you will not get a good score. Prepare your answer larger, 20 to 25 points, so that at least you can able to attempt 10. The rest of 3-4 points you can write general answer, so that you can get a good score. Okay, yeah. So let me go back my repositories. Okay, Byler Act 2025. There is a latest amendment which released on in the month of May. Okay, which is also new for me. I have not referred as of now. I didn't had a chance. Okay, so this is the new amendment, which is released on 28th May 2025. Okay, now we'll go through that. So first of all, we'll see the license requirements. Okay, when you talk about license requirement, so the owner must submit a complete organization registration application with drawings, specifications, certificates, required documents, and fee as per the state rules to the inspector before using the boiler. Okay, section 12.1 and section 12.2. We'll see what are they. Registration. Section number 12 is registration. The owner of the boiler which is not registered under the provisions of this act shall make an application to the inspector in such a form along with such drawings, specification, certificate, and other documents as may be specified by regulations to have the boiler registered. So they have to register their boiler if it is not registered before the use. Every application of the registration under the section 1 shall be accompanied by such fees as prescribed as per the state government. We have boilers rules. As per the rules, you have to pay the fee. Okay. The receipt of the application, the inspector shall fix a date within 30 days or a shorter period as may be prescribed by the state government from the date of receipt of the application for the examination of the boiler, and shall give the owner thereof not less than 10 days notice of date of so fixed. So from the date of application from 30 days, the boiler inspector will fix the examination date, and also the owner thereof not less than notice of 10 days so fixed. Okay, within 10 days of time, they will go for the inspection. Okay, within 30 days they have to respond, and the owner thereof not less than 10 days notice of
Sir, excuse me.
yeah.
సార్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇది బాయిలర్ యాక్ట్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇంత కెపాసిటీ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు అప్లై చేసుకోవాలి, అంతకంటే తక్కువ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు అవసరం లేదనేది ఏమన్నా ఉందా మ్యామ్ దానిలో?
We'll go through that. ఉంది.
ఓకే సార్, ఓకే.
Yeah. Okay. Then this is the one license. Then the owner of the boiler must submit an application to the competent person for renewal in a prescribed form along with the required documents and fees. One is getting the approval before the use, and also renewal of license, which is a license renewal, which is 13. Sorry. What is 13 talks about? Renewal of certificate. When you say certificate, it is nothing but license. Don't get confused. Certificate is nothing but license. A certificate authorizing the use of the boiler shall cease to be in force on the expiry of the period for which it was granted, when any accident occurs to the boiler, or when the boiler is moved, or except a vertical boiler or heating surface of which is less than 20 square meters, or a portable or vertical boiler. As provided in section 17, any structural alteration, addition, or renewal is made to the boiler. So whenever you do the renewals, in the case of expiry, or in the case of any accident happens, or in the case of the boiler is moved or changed, or in case shifted, or also in case of any structural alterations which has happened, you will go for renewal. Okay. Sorry. Then what is the other license requirement? Penalty, report obligation. Okay, these are the two. One is initial license, then other one is renewal. Okay. Now we'll see the one or two definitions with respect to the boiler. What is mean by the boiler? So when I say boiler, it means it is a pressure vessel in which steam is generated for use external to itself by application of heat, which is wholly or partly under pressure when the steam is shut off but does not include a pressure vessel. It is not a pressure vessel, but it is used to generate a steam which is externally used. With a capacity less than 25 liters, such a capacity is being measured from a feed check valve to the steam or stop valve. With less than 1 kilogram per centimeter square design gauge pressure and also working gauge pressure. Okay, these are the, and also which is water is heated below 100 degree centigrade. Okay, these are the various uh, capacities less than 25 liters.
సార్ 25 లీటర్స్ కంటే ఎక్కువ ఉంటే కంపల్సరీ తీసుకోవాలి.
Compulsory.
ఓహో, ఓకే.
Then we have other definitions. Again, here also we'll have chief inspector like Factories Act. There we have controller. Here is a chief inspector. The designatories are different names, but